And you're still watching Spotlight with Chinaza on Captain Television. Now, the big question that Nigerians are asking is, can the NDC truly unite the opposition, or is this another coalition that is destined to fail? Because we've seen coalition here and there, but there are still questions that say, what makes this one different? How are we sure that this one at the end of the day will not fail? And how prepared are they even for the 2027 general election? I'm being joined by Fisai Sanusi Ibrahim. He is a social justice critic. He joins me live in the studio. Beautiful evening, and thank you for being here today.
Good evening, Chinaza. Happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Now, with all that is been going on in the political space, first of all, let me get your assessment. What do you think about the opposition party? Do you think there is a really strong opposition party to challenge the current All Progressive Congress, the APC?
Well, you know, it is binded by a lot of factors, and the political trajectory of the country currently, we don't even know the destination that this political trajectory is going to, because now it started with the ADC and the coalition, where we have, you know, the top guns of the political scene in this country come under one umbrella with one mission, and the mission was to you know, defeat the current APC administration and get another president in 2027. Unfortunately, they started having their internal fracas, which that was what resulted to what we are seeing today. And I've always said it, the opposition staying united is more advantageous to the opposition itself and Nigerians. But a situation whereby the opposition is broken into two and some people decide to defect from the opposition, then that is going to be the beginning of our problems. Now, Kwankwaso and Peter Obi have defected from the ADC to the NDC. Let me give you statistics of the 2023 general election. Bola Ahmed Tinubu produced 36% of the votes, you know, casted. Atiku, Peter Obi, and Kwankwaso collectively had 64% of the entire votes that were casted. So the idea of the coalition was for these people to come together, choose two people, and then support them. But right now, Obi and Kwankwaso have defected to NDC, and there are some likes of Atiku and some others in the ADC. So that alone has given the opposition, that is the APC administration, one step ahead, close to victory. So that's it.
But then one would wonder, like you said, when we saw when the ADC as a political party emerged, we saw heavyweight political leaders. We mentioned Atiku, Obi, David Mark, former River State Governor Amechi, and the rest of you. So, and at some point, Nigerians were saying, oh, okay, these are big forces, you know, and they kind of would challenge the current administration. So what do you think, or what would you say destroyed the ADC? Do you think it's pride? Do you think it's leadership ego? Or what do you think really destroyed the ADC?
What destroyed ADC is interest. Politics is a game of interest. And some people just realize that it's not going to favor their interest, and they decide to leave. Some people realize that them being in ADC is going to favor their interest, and they decided to still remain in the ADC. So it is a game of interest, and you know, no one saw it.
So you're saying it's not even about rescuing Nigeria, because a lot of people have the opinion that Nigeria needs to be rescued, at least from the current APC.
Of course, it is not a surprising news to every Nigerian of how difficult life is under the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. It is very, very difficult, and Nigerians are finding it difficult to even survive. We're talking about a population that over 140 million are living below $2 a day. That's to tell you 1/3 of the country's population is poor. They cannot even afford food. So we want a situation whereby there is going to be a change in this entire, situation we are in currently. But right now, what the ADC and the NDC and other political parties are doing, Nigerians currently, there are other candidates, right? There are other candidates that Nigeria could decide to say, okay, listen, this is who we want to go for, or this is who we want. But the problem is, you have these big weights in one place. And now these big weights have now decided to disintegrate, which is now a big problem for the political scene of the country. And as of yesterday, some people went to the former President Goodluck Jonathan and they said they want him to run for presidency. And we all know in Nigeria,
but
there
how
is a
realistic is that? I mean, we are just, yes, there is no time, and a lot of people
there is a lawyer that have already filed in a suit in a court of law saying that Jonathan cannot contest, again, having been in office. There was a calculation, and, they know how the law works and all that. But then, now with Jonathan appearing, and I think the founder of the NDC from Bayelsa, we all know the format that Nigerian politicians usually use. They are going to gather people and they'll tell the people to say that we want you to come and run. And then when they come and you say, okay, you are actually trying to run for presidency because of this group of people they came to call me. So yesterday, Goodluck Jonathan is seen, having, discussions with people. So that's to tell you, if there is a party, Goodluck Jonathan might eventually end up, if that is he wants to contest, might be the NDC. And that is also going to create more problems, for the NDC. Because currently, a lot of Nigerians, and I think this is the first time in history that a presidential aspirant is already having a vice. Usually what we know is it's after the primaries.
Exactly.
Then
you now unveil who your vice is.
You unveil the vice. But currently we are seeing, the OB and Kwankwaso ticket flying, all around. And that's to tell you that they must have struck maybe an understanding with the owners with the founders of the party. But with Goodluck coming in now, that's also going to change the trajectory of the 2027 election.
I mean, it's quite an interesting time for Nigerians and the political figures, as well as it's we see that it's very, very difficult for oppositions to unite. Are you worried that this might take us back to what happened in 2023?
Yes, I am very, very worried, because what happened in 2023, had it been these same people that formed the coalition were united in 2023, we wouldn't have been in this situation that we are. Because what happened was, Atiku had 6.9 million votes. Peter Obi had 6.1 million votes. Kwankwaso had 1.5 million votes. So if you put it up as a cumulative, that is way ahead the 8.7 million votes that the president got, and that what made him president. So now there is a hope that the coalition are going to come together and then change the narrative. But right now, every Nigerian should be scared, because just like I said earlier, they just gave the All Progressive Congress, that is the APC, one step forward to victory. Because when the house is divided, that is when, and also the dynamics of the voting has actually changed. Kwankwaso cannot assure you that he's going to get that 1 million votes he got from Kano in 2023.
Exactly, because the governor of the state have
Of course. Yes, the governor of the state have left NNPP, so he's also going to have this pool. Exactly. And as far as Peter Obi, just yesterday or this morning, I'm seeing a faction of the Obedient movement saying that they've expelled Peter Obi from the Obedient movement. And then another faction came and said, well, Peter Obi is still with us. So now the united Obedient movement we saw in 2023 is currently divided.
Divided, yes.
So that's to tell you the complication that we are actually going to see in the forthcoming election. So that's just the idea.
Some members of the opposition have accused President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of fueling the crisis in opposition parties. What is your take on that? Yes,
well, it's not far from the truth, because we all can see what is happening in these parties. As a matter of fact,
is it really the president fueling it, or the inability of the parties to put their house in order?
Yes, well, we cannot solely blame the president, but we are seeing the inflammatory remarks from the chief of staff, that is Femi Gbajabiamila. We are seeing some from the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, saying, well, we are going to let them go and burn, let the opposition do this and that. And even the NDC is currently having a court problem. And if you want to have a court problem as a party currently in this country, just have one or two of the big guns in your party and you're going to be in court. And that's to tell you that the All Progressive Congress is also meddling in the affairs and the stability of the political parties. And that's why we are seeing what we are seeing. And I mean, Bola Ahmed Tinubu used to be a true Democrat. And during the Nadeko era, he started also from SDP and on and on and on. Chinaza, currently, there is no party that is a big party in this country that does not have an internal crisis with two national chairmen fighting in court, going in and out. This has never happened in the political democratic era of this country. This is the first time that we're seeing multiple parties in court. So that's to tell you the government of the day has something to do with it. Even if they are saying, well, it's the opposition that they are not putting their house in order. At the end of the day, the government of the day has something to do with it.
Now, what does the NDC actually stand for? Because when you look at it, yes, we've seen on the socials the popularity of Peter Obi. We also seen that of Kwankwaso. But aside social popularities and both physical popularity, what do you think this new bride, because we would describe the NDC as a new bride, and we're hopeful that get out of hand. But what do you think their ideology stand for? Because we cannot deny the fact that when it comes to politics, state politics, locality and state politics matters a lot.
Yes,
and
it sure does.
ADC being a new bride that's just coming in, what do you think their ideology stand for?
Of the NDC?
NDC, yes.
Okay, well, I cannot even tell you what the ideology of the NDC stands for. I mean, had it been even asked maybe the ideology of the ADC, I would tell you, well, this is a group of the top big politicians in the country coming together to form a fraction to, defeat the incumbent, president and the All Progressive Congress, that's the ruling party. But that of NDC is what I do not know until this moment. Because we've been hearing NDC, from the side, and before you know it, boom, it came into limelight, and it came into limelight 2-3 weeks ago, and then now we are having Peter Obi moving, Kwankwaso moving, some other people, moving. So I do not know what is their plan. But the truth of the matter is the dynamics of politics usually evolve in this country. What you got in 2019 is not what you're going to get is not what we got in 2023. What we got in 2023 is not what we are going to get in 2027. That is why I was, having a discussion with an elder statesman in Delta, Chief Charles Obada, and he was saying that, I mean, if, Atiku, Peter Obi, Kwankwaso are going to come together and have an understanding, because them having an understanding is going to push.
But was it not the assumption of these figures having an understanding that formed the existence of ADC? But yes, clearly now we see that the understanding is not even there in the first place. It's no longer there, even if it was.
Yes.
Which Atiku saying that he wants to be on the ballot. Obi says he wants to be on the ballot, and so many like the big figures, they all want to be on the ballot. So
yes, and the thing is, all of them cannot be on the ballots. You understand?
Yes.
And this is it. I'm a true Democrat, and currently the parties, the most parties are flagging their presidential candidacy to the south. The north just finished after Buhari, and this is now the turn of the south. So any political party that would end up not zoning its ticket to maybe the south, it's going to be -1 for you, because people are going to say, well, I mean, that was what Rufai fought for during the Tinubu administration. He said it has to go to the south, right? So now once you do not zone your ticket to the south, is -1 for you by default.
Okay.
Is -1 for you. So all the parties are zoning to the south. Any party that zones to the north currently, you know that you have a lot of work to do, and you need to understand how to even go about it. So this is the current, situation of things in the country, and this is how I would say our politics is currently stagnant. You are having people decamping from ADC last week and now moving to NDC this week. So it's confusing the political scenery. It's confusing a lot of people. But I know them, the politicians, they know what they are doing. And just like I said, all of them cannot be on the ballot. For Nigeria to work, we need capable hands in different sectors and parastatals to make Nigeria work. So all of you cannot be the president. So what you're going to do, come to the drawing table, collectively see what you can do, and then push 2 people. And, and we as Nigerian youth, we are also clamoring for a more youthful,
inclusivity.
Yes, in politics. And what we are seeing is, it's just rigmaroling among, these elites, 85 years, 70, 75. When you look at the new president of Benin Republic, I think he's 43, that of, I think, one of these countries too, very, very young. Even Traoré, the military president of Burkina Faso, I think 37 or 38. So is it a crime for a young person to be a president in this country? I'm not sure. So why are they not? And that was why I would say there are other candidates that when they do the job very well, they can become a huge opposition to any opposition. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I'm at this point. I don't know if I'm the only one who is curious about who will now choose or assume is now the opposition party, because initially when we saw the emergence of ADC, everybody was like, oh, ADC, here we go. But now that it's been divided, which party do we call the opposition party? Is it the NDC or the ADC or the PDP?
Yes.
Well,
currently any party that is not the ruling party by default is an opposition, right? And the opposition is also subdivided into the bigger oppositions and the lesser oppositions. Okay. Once you have NDC, ADC, these are the big guns in the opposition. Then the likes of SDP, Labour Party. So all of these guys are opposition. And I think 2-3 weeks ago, there was a meeting, was it in Ibadan, for that the opposition came together and said, this is what we want to, they are going to collectively stand one candidate. And I think that particular meeting, Peter Obi and Kwankwaso did not attend it. And that was where the red flag started, popping up. So I'm not sure the opposition are even ready to take this country back. And it downs on us, the masses. And now we have to just hold our hands and see what will happen, because the opposition are also not ready to do the needful by, unseating the All Progressive Congress. So
to you think you think, let me use the word, APC is just shelling because they know that it's going to be a victory stone. It's going to be a throne of victory for them.
Yes, of course, because they've had all their plans on ground. When the APC were preparing, when the APC were meeting governors to decamp, where was the opposition? What was the opposition doing? The APC was working while the opposition are there confused.
This is going to break a lot of Nigerians.
Of course, it will. It will.
It breaks a lot.
It will break a lot of people's hearts. Because when the ADC were doing their permutations, getting governors, the opposition were still confused on who to stand as the president. And I'm hearing that, the ADC, or rather I think the NDC, they are going to engage in a direct primaries. And that's what I've always campaigned for. We should not rely on some certain delegates to go and choose someone, a leader for us because they've been given some dollars. Parties should embrace direct primaries where every registered voter has the right to vote for the person he wants to be the president. We are in democracy. What I expect the opposition to do is collectively come together, mobilize people, ask them to register, go for a direct primaries. Anybody that wins, that's all.
You know, they say 24 hours is a long time in politics.
Yes,
I mean, anything can happen.
Yes.
But realistically and truly, how much more time is left for the opposition? Do you think they would ever get it right? Because the clock is ticking.
Yeah, they might get it right, but they have run against time completely. I am telling you that the opposition currently, the fact that it's now that they are doing their permutations, moving from one place to the other, they are late. So when are they going to say, okay,
so no
this
hope.
is where there is no hope, but I'm not going to say no hope completely, because I know I have been on the field.
You know, that sounds so heavy.
Of course it is.
For some Nigerians to bear.
Yes, it's very heavy. This is not what we as Nigerians wanted. We wanted a situation whereby the opposition would look at us as the citizens of this country and say, listen, okay, let's hear your cries. No, you guys, all of you cannot be on the ballot.
Of
so
course.
Some of you should just move back and say, okay, well, I'm an elder statesman. Let me see what I'm going to do. Let me support Mr. A and Mr. B. I mean, if they become the president tomorrow, it's going to even give you, more respect. And, other oppositions are also mobilizing. The ADP, the SDP, they are also mobilizing to see the candidates that they are going to also produce.
Now, by May 30th, we should know who the candidates of political parties are. I mean, how much time do you think the new bride, our new bride, the NDC have?
I mean,
we've also seen a massive move from the ADC to the new party, which is the NDC. But truly and realistically, I don't know, aside popularity and moves, how much more time they have. But by May 30th, by the end of this month already, they should be able to tell us, oh, okay, this is who our candidate is.
Yeah. Ideologically,
do you think they will meet up? Because we are already seeing, this one just happened, and who knows, tomorrow we might wake up to court cases and all of that.
Ideologically, a new bride is supposed to move into a new house, but this new bride, I'm not sure she's even in the vehicle to go to the new house yet. I'm not sure the new bride is ready, and only when they come together and fix their internal crisis, and also they shouldn't be selfish in their judgments. Just say, Mr. A, go ahead and do it, or Mr. B, go ahead and do it. And I'm telling you, Nigerians are going to vote for anybody that is accountable. Nigerians are going to vote for anybody that we know is going to change the current situation of the country.
But a lot of Nigerians will still ask for a political party that can't even put their house in order. What is the possibility that a country as complex as Nigeria can be handled by that same political party?
Yes, I mean, and people, anybody that is saying that is saying the truth, because we need to see your prowess in handling your own problems. I mean, there is a typical pidgin English adage that says, "Na person we get house, na know where they leak." So all these people understand that you need to fix your home. So a situation where you cannot fix your home, then I mean, there is a huge problem on ground. And how do you even intend to convince Nigerians that, well, once you get there, you can do it? So that's where the problem lies.
Well, the new bride, we're going to just keep fingers crossed to see what they will what they will bring to the table and what they are up to. But then again, now that the vote have been divided, can ADC win back delusion voters? Because many Nigerians care more about food prices and fuel. That's aside, party slogans, there are basic things that Nigerians care about. They care about security. They care about standard of living, which is being able to at least afford 3 square meals. But what do you think the NDC is selling to Nigerians?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question, because currently NDC are not even selling anything yet. What NDC are doing is they are accepting the people that are defecting from other parties. Yes, that's what NDC are doing currently. So maybe when they are ready to tell us what they have to, for Nigerians, then I think then would understand how serious they are. But for now, I am sure after this program, you're going to go maybe on Twitter or Facebook, you're going to see that another maybe House of Reps member must have, defected to NDC. So NDC are now, receiving defectors first and foremost. And that's why I said the APC is now moving, on a safe road, because, when the opposition is broken into two, then it's, to the All Progressive Congress, advantage.
What if the opposition party fail to make it, if they end up not making it? What do you think this would be for Nigerians and Nigeria as people already who already lost trust in INEC to be able to conduct credible election? Do you think this would water down the trust that is already watered down?
It's going to be a big problem, because already Nigerians are even protesting for the removal of the INEC chairman because of some certain things that they feel he's partisan. And I would always say that INEC as an institution needs to be really, really independent. It should not just be verbally independent. It should be independent down to the roots and the structures, right? And currently, for every single INEC chairman we get, is either there is this problem or the other. So currently, there is a huge distrust between Nigerians and INEC. That is one. Number two, you can see the tussle between ADC and INEC. You can see the tussle between, I think even the NDC, they were talking about something, they were taken to court, and, they just came out of court, and I think it seems like they won or something like that. There is another problem, NDC versus INEC. So now Nigerians are seeing INEC as a tool for the ruling party to destabilize other political parties, to make sure that all other political parties are fractured from the in and out. So that's what Nigerians think. So now it's going to be difficult to say, well, Nigerians, do you believe in INEC? From the onset, there has been reservations against INEC. And now that the INEC chairman is being, fingers are pointed at him of being partisan, is even going to make the entire situation worse.
Now, I have followed you closely, and you've been one voice who have strongly and confidently spoken about the current administration and the policies that the current administration, their reforms and everything. Now, seeing what is playing out in the political scene, I mean, people who are looking up to you and those people whom you've always given hope, don't worry, we're going to kick APC out of the ballot, so APC is not coming back, President Tinubu is not doing so well. From here, what are your words to them?
Well, never stop believing, because Goodluck Jonathan, I think from his history, he was, I think, the deputy head boy, he became the head boy. He was the deputy governor, he became the governor. He was the vice president, and he became the president. Another story is that of Yahya Bello. He lost the primaries, and unfortunately, the person that won the primaries lost his life, and that was what made Yahya Bello, became the governor of Kogi State. We are not going to lose hope. I would tell my followers out there, I've been a very vocal critic of, the anti-people's policy that is being meted against us Nigerians. We all want a better country. And there are a lot of people, sometimes in my comment sections, you see people telling me, well, who else, who do you think we are going to vote? And it hurts my feelings so well that I don't even know what to tell them, because, because if, as an activist, if you don't guide your followers to a political participation, nothing can change. You cannot be talking on the social media. I've been doing grassroots mobilization. I've gone to so many places to enlighten voters, about, voter apathy and a whole lot. But, we are trying, we are still trying, and I would tell them never to lose hope. It's not over until it's over. Let's see what happens in 2027. And I mean, any candidate that we feel is accountable, we are going to field that candidate, and we're also going to support him. And that doesn't mean that if the candidate wins and he begins to do things that offends us, we are not going to talk about it. So that's it.
Okay, so how bad and how much do you think what is playing out in Nigeria's political scene right now affects democracy?
Yeah, I would say that, the APC administration single-handedly, they killed democracy. Government by the people, for the people. The people are not represented.
The president has come out to deny or
Well, we are Nigerians. It's more like during the Tinubu administration, there is nobody that left his office that was actually sacked. All the people that left their offices, they said they have resigned and gone on a medical trip. So that's to tell you that the Tinubu administration is not even going to say, well, we have sacked someone. Badaru resigned and went on medical trip. Ganduje resigned, went on medical trip. Ajuri and Gelele resigned, went on medical trip. And a whole lot. They've been resigning. Even the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, resigned and went on medical trip. So now you know that this is a group of people that are not straightforward. They are not straightforward. So it's evident that when we say, or when we are pointing fingers, because opposition is the core of any democracy. When there is no opposition, there is no democracy. So once we are pointing fingers to the All Progressive Congress, we know what we are saying. And we understand what they're doing. We are Nigerians that live in Nigeria. We are not Nigerians in diaspora. We are Nigerians that live in Nigeria. We know the rules, we know the laws, we know what is going on. So anybody that is going to say that the All Progressive Congress or the presidency doesn't have, a hand in the way things are happening in this country, the president must have, lied. So we have to remain resolute and dogged to see this until the end.
Well, I listened to Daniel Wala yesterday, and he's saying that he's saddened by what is going on in the political, in the opposition political scene, because according to him, Nigerians we're in a democratic system, and Nigerians look forward to having an opposition that would challenge the current administration. Do you believe him in any way?
No.
You don't believe him?
There is no Nigerian that is going to believe. He said he's saddened
by what's going on.
There is no Nigerian that is going to believe Daniel Bwala. This is somebody that said something. He went to Al Jazeera, met Mahdi Hassan, and he was being played what he said, and he said he didn't say them. So anything that Daniel Bwala is going to say doesn't hold water. If Daniel Bwala tells you good morning, open the window and look at it, it might be the night. Because this is an individual that could not even defend his own words. So coming from Daniel Bwala, I am not going to take anything. He is not saddened. It was because of his interest that he went and he was a fierce critic of the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. Before you know it, a year or two later, him and Reno, that's what they did. And how can I believe an individual like that? I cannot believe Daniel Bwala. He is not saddened. He's just saying that because of the political scene, and he's trying to, sympathize with individuals that do not know what they're doing. But for us that are learned and we are in the field, we know that Daniel Bwala doesn't mean anything he says.
Now, we know that politicians will say one thing and mean another. Seeing what has played out in the opposition, lately, do you think there is even a single politician that we can hold and say, oh, okay, this one has the interests of Nigeria and Nigerians at heart?
Yeah.
Because when you look at it from what has played out,
yeah,
moving from ADC to NDC and moving from this political party, it's clearly that it's a game of interest. It's about what I can benefit and what interests me. So, but then looking at all of them, nobody wants to step down for the other. Would you say that, okay, this person at least thoroughly has it in mind to, rescue Nigeria? Because at this point, there is no doubt that Nigeria needs to be rescued.
Yes, sure. Nigeria needs to be rescued. And I'm telling all the aspirants that you cannot be campaigning or trying to defect from one party to the other. We need a candidate that is going to single-handedly tell us what he's going to do to salvage the country from this terrible economy that we are in. We need a politician that is going to stand and say, this is not a politician that is going to say, I'm going to give you light, and then 3 years later, that same politician has put up, solar in the villa. Who is the president? He said he's going to, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu said he's going to give us light. He said if he doesn't do that, let's not vote him. Lo and behold, now there is a huge solar plant in the villa. And now he's back on stage telling us, well, don't worry, I know there is a light problem and I'm going to fix it. The same president went to Jos, there was no light in the airport, and he said, there is no light in the airport, I need to be leaving in 10 minutes. So now, those are the type of politicians we have in this country. So we need a politician that is going to be accountable. And I'm also advising for a very, very fierce presidential debate that is going to be organized by well-meaning Nigerians. Let's hear firsthand from all these presidential aspirants. Let's see what they have for us, because Nigeria is not the Nigeria that you're just going to say, I'll give you water and give you road. In a sane society, in the first and second world countries, politicians are not campaigning with, I'll give you water and light, because those are basic amenities that have been provided by the government already. And that is why you see them, when they pay their tax, they don't feel bad. But right now, I am responsible for my security, responsible for my food, responsible for my water. I pay for the light and I don't get it 24 hour, and a whole lot of troubles. So how do you expect an individual like me to say, well, I believe in them and I want to go out there and pay tax? So it's impossible. So we need a candidate that would come out and say, this is the resolve. This is what I'm going to do. Tell Nigerians what you have for us. Then we are going to see and say, well, then we'll collectively say, let's go ahead for this person.
But then, so far, who do you think fits into that, category now?
The only person that fits into that category is the person that is going to come out and tell Nigerians what he's going to do when he wins. But these people always say this thing.
You just said it, of course. The president just said that he was going to give us solar lights, rather.
And he didn't.
And if he didn't give us lights, we should not vote him back. And this same person who said, okay, hold my hand while I lead you, getting to the middle of the sea, the person, left you all by yourself. So it is normal with Nigerian politicians.
Yes.
Every single one of them. But looking at the people who are at the forefront, the Peter Obi, the Kwankwaso, the Atiku Abubakar, Tinubu himself, and some other. Who do you think Nigerians? Who would you? As a strong voice, who would you say to your followers or people who are looking up to you? Say, I think we can trust this particular person.
Yes, Nigerian politics now is so terrible that we have to be dealing with the lesser evil. We don't even have so many good politicians that we are going to say this person is good. So we need to just go for the lesser evil. And the reason why, up till now, I do not have a candidate.
Even Obi?
Anybody, even Obi.
He's not your candidate.
Obi is not my candidate. Obi is not my candidate. Tinubu is not my candidate. Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not my candidate. None of them is my candidate yet. And I'm saying this for a fact. Ask them, get people that work with them, or I've ever had a meeting with any of them anywhere. Never. So what I'm saying is, I am a Nigerian that wants to see someone that would at least fix this country. We were having hope in the opposition. Opposition is now divided into two. So that is to tell that let's say even if I had a candidate in mind, then now automatically opposition is divided into two. But I am telling you and I'm assuring you, I am going to support a presidential candidate, and I'm going to work tirelessly for that presidential candidate, and I'm going to make sure we deliver that presidential candidate. But for now, I need a presidential candidate that is going to sit with me or sit with Nigerians and make us understand, and we should know what he is going to do when he becomes the president of the country. We know, yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, yes, he said that, but I'm telling you, we would definitely try to pick a lesser evil. Maybe somebody that is not even popular. Yes, maybe somebody that is not even popular, because I'm going to go with what my heart tells me, to do. I'm not an individual that goes with, public demand.
If there is such a person by now, you should have been out there.
Of course. If there is such a, so now let's see. I'm very sure I'm going to be back up on this program, and maybe after 30th May, when everything is being rounded up from every political party, I'm going to pick my stand, and then we work to make sure we deliver that person to become the next president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right. Now, why a lot of Nigerians are clamoring for change, someone who would salvage the country, and looking at all that is playing out, because I wouldn't lie myself at this point, I think I'm even tired, but like you say, we can always be optimistic and be hopeful. If we've seen so many untold hardship with the current administration, we talk about insecurity, we talk about high cost of living, we talk about the high rise in petrol and the rest of it. And Nigerians, you will hear a lot of Nigerians would say, we've never had it this bad. We have never had it this bad. Now, what should be the fate, or what would you say would be the fate of Nigeria should the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu make it again in 2027?
This is a very, very, this is a huge question. I was scrolling on Twitter and I saw someone said, Hosulo should, in case the Tinubu regime makes it for the second term, anybody that cannot deliver in the first 4 years, I don't see what you can do in the next 4 years. The same thing with, the Buhari administration. We thought things are going to change. Instead, they got worse. Currently, we do not even, as Nigerians, we do not even have hope of a country. And if the APC administration wins again, then there is going to be a huge problem. And you see those whole tax law and some other things that they refuse to implement, that is when they are going to implement it, because there is nothing you can do. They are now in their last lap, and anything they do with Nigerians, anything you see, you take it. But I always also tell Nigerians that our destinies is in our hands. You have your PVCs. Mobilize yourself, go out there and vote for a candidate that you know is going to salvage, or make the country better, because you cannot have a candidate that would salvage Nigeria entirely, because the foundations of the country wasn't really, built very well, and corruption has already ravaged the entire system like a cankerworm. So that's it.
So if you're going to be very realistic, do you think there is an opposition to unseat the current administration come 2027? Do you think truly?
Yeah, with the current division within the coalition, I don't see any part of the coalition currently unseating the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration.
And is there still hope?
Well, there's still hope if the opposition come together and then have a discussion and say, well, this is what we want to do, or Mr. A and B come back, let's talk. Mr. B is going to say, well, okay, I'm not contesting anymore.
Well, don't you think if there is going to be room for, okay, now come back, let's talk, let's negotiate, let's have a better understanding. What do you think that makes them serious, moving from the ADC to NDC and then moving back from the NDC to ADC again? How serious does that make them look?
The level of unseriousness is too much, and I don't know how they are even going to present themselves to Nigerians. That's the problem. And you know that the APC administration has put us in a very, very terrible place in this country. And we are supposed to say, well, no to this administration again. Let's get another person support. But then the opposition itself, are still running around in their home. So I don't see this opposition currently as opposition that can unseat the current administration. But let's see what happens before 30th May, and then we'll see if they are more serious in unseating the Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration. There cannot be a country without democracy. There cannot be a change in the presidency without, elections. So let's see how it goes.
All right, thank you so much. I must say a very big thank you to you for your time, and this evening it's been wonderful having you on the show this evening. Thank you so much for coming.
Much appreciated, Chinas. Thank you.
Kese has been speaking with us concerning the political drama that's been going on in the political space lately. We've seen a very big change and very big shift from the political scene. And will this time be really different? That's the question a lot of Nigerians are asking. Nigerian politics has long revolved around personalities over ideology, and the story of Obi, Kwankwaso, and the NDC reflects that reality once again. But one thing is clear: Nigerians are watching, and when I say they're watching very closely. As 2027 approaches, there are questions. There is no longer which party is politicians belong to, or whether any opposition can genuinely convince Nigerians of change is possible. I mean, that's opposition party that will say, okay, come, believe us, you know, let's hold your hands while we walk you through this. Change is possible. Well, we don't know. That's why we'll bring the program to an end this evening. And thank you so much for sticking around with us. Keep watching Kaftan Television until I come your way some other time. I am Chinaza Asegwan. Don't forget that nation building is a collective effort. While the 2027 general election is fast approaching, you have also an obligation to perform, and that's getting your PVC ready and getting out there to go cast your votes. Nigeria cannot be made by one person. And that's where I'll leave it this evening. See you again next week, and do have your